Talks Mind Mastery. We're here one more time and again with Dr. Shari Pratt and my good friend Latoya. That's my backup. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
Listen, today's topic is going to be on the stereotype of the angry black woman.
Ooh.
Now, I know that's a sore spot for some people. They be like, well, I'm angry and I have a reason. We're going to talk about those reasons, how it affects your mood and your mind. And I love the color purple. Those who love movies like I do, all my life, I had to fight, right? You told Harpo to hit me. So those are some real situations that women have had to deal with, limited in the political arena, in corporate America, considered problematic,
Yeah.
face sexism statements. And all of these are triggers. All of these are triggers and have affected our psyche, how we feel about ourselves, how we look, damaged us emotionally, created low self esteem, removed our confidence. So then we overcompensate in sexual behavior or have a tendency to have a
Oh, yeah.
masculine behavior, especially when we have children. We become that mama bear because I got to protect the kids because
Hmm.
daddy not there, right? The fights of dealing with deadbeat dads, right? And just trying to maintain our own sanity
Hmm.
while running a household. And that alone by itself is just, crazy.
It is.
And it creates sadness, depression, and you become frustrated time and time again. Low wages, um, not being looked over, not promoted. So we understand you, black sister. We understand this fight. But anger is good in a way and it's bad in a way. And we're going to talk about that today. So, Latoya, go ahead.
Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening to some of you, and welcome and thank you for joining Safe Space Talks. It is a pleasure to be with you guys, and we are getting into one of those topics that we don't like to hear about often. No one wants to be looked at or stereotyped as the angry black woman, but it's real,
Right.
right? And it's one of those things where yes, there's a lot of situations that we go through in life. We go through, traditionally, sometimes we go through poverty. Sometimes we grow up in single parent homes. Traditionally, we have to work harder. We also can continue those generational curses of having a single parent home. So now, we're raising our children by ourselves. We're still required to work. We're required to
That's
do
right.
everything that a two-parent home
That's right.
has to do,
That's
but we
right.
also have those limitations, right? And so, of course, there are some reasons why we could be angry, but oftentimes it could be just culturally, right? What
Yeah.
people are saying about us, how other people view us, and how we view ourselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes in our communities, we kind of like brag about being mean or being bitter, or being messy, or all those other negative kind of tags. We kind of can brag about it, right?
Right.
We pass it down in generations to our daughters. And so, sometimes having a nasty attitude when you go to the store and you see another female there and a black woman, sometimes, don't want to smile, frowned, has a frown on her
Yeah.
face, kind
Yeah.
of snappy, rude. And it's like, sis, it doesn't have to be like that. But we don't
Right.
know what people
With
are
that,
going
yeah.
through. We
Right.
don't know what people have to face. We don't know what people have overcome. And like Nigeria said, what they've had to fight against all their lives. And so this is a real topic that we want to delve into because it happens. And we don't want to be looked at like the angry black woman. We don't want
Right.
to carry anger and bitterness because when we're angry and we're bitter, we have mental disease, we have
Hmm.
physical disease,
Right.
right? if
Right.
if a person is bitter and angry, they may experience hypertension,
Yeah.
right? They could experience anxiety, they could
Mhm.
have panic attacks. cancer, right? Any
Yeah.
all those conditions can happen because we're carrying around anger and we're carrying around pain. So we're going to be talking about just the stereotypes of the angry black woman. We're going to talk about the social expectations. We're going to talk about how we're being overwhelmed with all the things that we have to do. We're going to talk about in the workplace,
Yeah.
what that looks like, how we're viewed, if we're being assertive. We're going to talk about being connected with more weak men, right? And how they
Yeah.
view women who are assertive. And so
Yeah.
we've got a lot to unpack today. So I'm excited about the conversation. What do you have, Dr. Sharmi?
Hello, everyone. Listen, yes, I'm excited too, because, and the reason for my excitement about it is because, listen, I was known as probably that angry black woman, right? That individual that was very snappy. You couldn't, don't look at me crazy, girl.
Right? What you looking at?
You couldn't even look at me and me not see what, who you, what all that
The
attitude,
head
don't
bob.
roll the neck now,
Oh, wait a
the
minute.
neck roll was it,
Right.
you
Why?
that
Why?
Yeah.
part,
Wait, there you go.
that
There you
right
go. You
there,
got to do
like
the
what,
hands. You got
Right.
what, I'm
what?
talking with the hands,
Mhm.
but understanding though, that a lot of what I was dealing with was still masked by something greater.
Yeah.
It was masked by just being hurt, a
Mhm.
lot of pain, just a lot of dysfunction, and I know, a lot of us don't want to come into the realities that many of us do have those different dysfunctions in life, what I'm
Mhm.
saying, and certain things, because I love how you said that we come up under a culture that think being angry or being that woman that don't
Being
take no stuff, that's the thing, and we kind of
Mhm.
brag on it, but not understanding that really is just childish,
Mhm.
right? Not
Mhm.
understanding that you just lacking some real qualities as a woman, right?
Yeah.
Not understanding that
mm,
being that type of individual is not going to put you in the rooms that you desire to be in,
Come on.
not
Yeah.
even understanding that part, you know.
right.
Mhm.
Right.
And so coming to a place though where I really had to deal with those realities that I was facing on the inside of me. And that's not always easy. It's just not. We just got to be truthful about it. It's not always an easy thing to deal with you as the individual. Like
Correct.
it's easy for me to tell you, Latoya, or you, Nigeria, what I see wrong on the inside of you and prophesy
Right.
to you, because we're going to deal with this Christian reality too.
Right.
Because,
Right.
we got some mean Christians out there,
Oh,
Christian
yes,
women. Y'all
Lord.
mean.
Yeah.
Oh, come
Y'all
on.
is
Yeah.
snap.
Representing
I'm like,
Jesus
girl, I mean, will have been you were speaking the whole tongue and come out and ready to snap somebody off, ma'am. Go get
for
healed.
sitting in your seat.
Do you
Right.
understand? Oh, she did not say the church seat. Come on, the church seat. See, she playing, y'all. But anyway, one of the things that I really had to come to understand when we're dealing with the concepts of just women and being that angry black woman is I had to get to a place where I understood that there was some things on the inside of me that needed to be made whole.
Mhm.
So I really had to allow some mind management to happen with me, with Charmy,
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
order for me to be the real jewel that God knew I could
Come on
always
Oh,
be.
now.
come on.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Because even under all of that chaos and all of that debris and all of those things that we would like to think, oh, I'm just a strong black woman. Being snappy and rude don't make you strong.
Come on.
Mm-mm.
That don't make you
No.
a strong black woman. Being able to
No.
speak your mind. The Bible says that a wise woman knows how to hold her tongue.
That's
Mm.
right.
But we don't want to deal with those issues because when
Yeah.
you are a wise woman, some things we have to understand. Everything don't have to be said.
That's
You,
right.
you,
Oh,
you
that's
don't
That
good.
always have
part.
to be
That
That's
right.
part.
good.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
mean, seriously, just because I have the right to say things don't mean that it's for me to say what I think
Mhm.
I have the right to say.
Yeah.
But like I said, those were learned behaviors that I had
Yeah.
to come into
Right.
the
Learn
knowledge of,
behaviors.
because
Right.
those things would not necessarily taught, especially when you grow up in a household full of women. Women rule. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We didn't grow up and have a lot of men that were able to even help to govern. So for us, we were the ones who were the pans, the
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
We were
Right.
that. You know
Right.
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And so getting into relationships, who you talking to?
Right.
You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So my
Right.
whole attitude was already going in like
Going
what?
in. Yeah.
Right. Right.
You're
What do
not gonna
you
talk to
think?
me this kind of
Right,
way.
ain't
You're
gonna
not
Right.
gonna
talk to,
treat me
and
any kind of
hey,
way.
we can go to blows, whatever. It
Yeah.
was
Right. Right.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You want to throw them, we can throw them. We gonna
Mm-hmm.
do whatever we need to. I'm talking about with a man. I ain't talking
Right.
about with a
Mm-hmm.
Right.
woman.
Right.
So
Right.
you understand what I'm
No, no,
saying?
I get it
And
Yeah.
so
totally.
having those dynamics though, and really allowing God to come in and soften those hard
Come
areas.
on. That's
I
We
mean,
it.
have
because the
to.
areas were hard though, like we're talking about being angry or that stereotype of the angry black woman. But I like how today we're going to deal with the root causes.
But that's it.
What's causing us to be in that reality that we feel as if we got
Mm-hmm.
to be that type of woman,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going
I,
to
I
talk
Yeah.
think
about that.
I think a lot of it comes from when we feel ignored,
I was, yes, that's so
you know,
good.
or like we're just existing, you know. You're a mom and every day you just get up, you cook, you clean. And this is what a man in the house, you're taking the kids to school, you're picking the kids up, you're doing the laundry. And if he's not the type of gentleman to remind you you're beautiful, or take you date night, or forgets date night, or you have set these tones for certain times to be with family and then to be with your husband. It's a balance. And
Mm-hmm.
if that begins to fall apart,
Yeah.
you
I,
start to feel ignored.
I like when you said we feel ignored because oftentimes I feel like because of our environment, in our household, you be seen and not heard.
Right.
You oftentimes we can't express how we feel even as children, and
That's right.
so we grow up being kind of muted, and then when we go out and we get in relationships, we feel like we don't want to be ignored anymore. Like, we no, I need to be able to say something. I've been told shut up my whole life, so now I'm not going to let anybody shut me up. If
Right.
you
Right.
cross me, I'm gonna let you know about it, right?
Right.
And so a lot of it, I think, does have to do with just feeling like we're not heard. And so,
Right.
because when you feel like you're not heard, what do? You talk louder, right? Or,
Mm,
when you feel like you're not heard, you really kind of amplify what it is that you want to say. And sometimes it's through gestures.
that's right.
So,
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to talk with my hands because I'm
Yeah.
passionate, right? And we
Right.
we
Right.
are very passionate people. And so, like, in my own relationship, my husband always tell me, like, you too passionate about this, or you too loud, or but hey, I'm from the Midwest, we loud. But I've had to learn that it's
See, that's that cultural. That's that
that's
cultural.
that that's
You are
that
you
cultural piece.
assimilated.
Yes, but there's going to be situations when I can't be loud. But
Right.
in the beginning, I'll tell you, you too loud, and you're not loud enough. How about that? That's
Right.
just it's just kind of
Yeah.
how I responded. But I'm like, okay, yo, maybe he is right. Maybe there needs to be times when I don't respond, and
Right.
so you've got to be able to have discipline. You've got to
Yeah.
be able to train yourself to know and to mature that every situation, a response is not warranted. And people are not always coming at you about,
Right.
we take things so
Right.
personal, you know? And
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, well, sis, they're right. Maybe you do need to be at work on time. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
maybe you need to
Right.
drop those kids off at school on time. Maybe
Right.
you need to check your email. Like, they may
Right.
have a reason to speak to you about something. So you've got to check yourself.
Right. And then you have women that take care of everybody and neglect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now spa day has become something that we're leaning towards because we understand it is necessary to take a time out.
Yeah.
It's necessary to have that self-care.
Right.
Self-care business done boomed because
Right.
we realize how important it is to stop, pause, relax, take a bath, chill, have some me time,
Mm-hmm.
and stop, spreading yourself so thin.
Yeah.
And recently women have disrupted the whole myth of the angry Black woman by achieving so many great things, like Angela Davis, all our historical women who've achieved a lot of things because they got so angry and they got so mad that they moved and shift to say, I will be heard. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to listen to me. I do have something to say. And I think now in 2023, we have probably a large percentage of Black women in the political arena where that was unheard of. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
women barely had the right to vote,
Yeah.
So we've overcome a lot of things. And so I don't want to despise anger. Anger can push you and, like I said, shift you into a mode where now you are speaking up for yourself. You are overcoming the challenges that at one time wasn't available. My problem is the masculinity part. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just that I grew up, y'all know, with my dad. So femininity is everything. Now, I do have a little edge because I think for the first part, he thought me and my sister were boys and we know how to play basketball, football, and baseball. Because I guess when he wanted to go to the park, that's what he wanted to play. He was like, and y'all are playing this, you
Yeah.
know. But, and I almost got a scholarship, for basketball. So he did a pretty good job. But he always reminds us that a woman don't do that. A woman
Mm-hmm.
don't act like that. A woman
Yeah.
don't do this. A woman don't do that. To the point, it's like, okay, so be reminded that yes, you're mama bear and there's a lot on your plate, but don't lose your femininity. I just wanted to get
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I want to say, as you were talking, just about the whole dynamics of the women who took that frustration or that anger and they did some positive things with
Right,
it, it's
right.
great. Now, as you said, anger is not always something to look down on. That's
Yeah.
if you know how to take that anger and produce something great out of it.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Some people don't understand how to do
To
that.
do
They
that.
don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily know how to take that anger and make something good out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the phone just even today where a friend of mine was telling me about something I haven't heard of it. I don't know if you guys have, but they said this young girl, I guess she was probably in her 20s, her and her husband, and she was just angry, with him and whatever. And so she was on Facebook or Face Live on live, and
Mm-hmm.
her mama laughing because she talking about what he ain't and yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, she pulls a gun out on him and they got to tussling with the gun and she shot him and killed him in
Mm.
front of
Wow.
her
Wow.
mama. And the gun went off. You understand what? But you came
Mm-hmm.
in, but in the presence when y'all thought you and your mom thought it was a funny thing.
Funny,
Mm-hmm.
right?
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you going all crazy on him. He's
Mm-hmm.
dead. And
Right.
so a lot of people don't know how to even take those dynamics of when they are angry or when they are frustrated or when something else, because we have to
Mm-hmm.
understand anger is really a secondary emotion.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right,
angry, but that's not the root cause. Why
Come
are you
on. Why are
angry?
you
You see
angry?
what I'm
right,
saying?
Yes.
For
right.
so many, some people they don't even understand why they angry. I tell people I never understand, but you wake up angry.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Just
you get out
mad.
the bed, the day ain't even started and you mad.
Right,
Yeah.
What's
right,
up
Right.
with that? You see what
right,
I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
right.
so all that bitterness and all
Yeah.
that residue from
Mm-hmm.
something else has a resounding effect on the
Right.
inside of so
Yeah.
many people. And so those are the dynamics of things that need to be spoke with, because when you think about this, say anger. So and for some people, they don't even know how iceberg look underneath. They don't
Mm-hmm.
even understand that underneath what they see on top is something
Yeah.
so vast and so great that's holding that thing that you see. You don't even
Yeah.
see the dynamics of what's underneath. And that's
Right.
Mm-hmm.
how anger is.
Yeah.
Anger is like
Mm,
an iceberg. You
Mm-hmm.
see the anger, but you don't see the root cause
That's
on what's
Right.
good.
causing
That's
Yeah.
all of
good.
those emotions to even arise on the
Mm-hmm.
inside of people.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're thinking about the dynamics of, as we're talking about the angry black woman, like I love how Nigeria said, every black woman ain't angry and
Mm-hmm.
doing something negative with it. There
Right.
Right.
have been some positive effects from that anger. But the dynamics are, there are a lot of women that don't know how
Know
to take
how.
that
Yeah.
Come
anger
on.
and do
Yeah.
Yeah.
something great with it. And
Yes.
Right.
so now
Right.
they're taking their frustration out on their husbands, on their
Mm-hmm.
children,
Children.
Uh,
on people they don't know. And
Yeah.
then in this generation, though, they think it's cute. And
Mm-hmm.
that's
right.
the
Yeah.
problem I have. That
Yeah.
you will see people and you, why you gotta go off on the people?
Right. They
Like,
think
Right.
it's
Right.
cute and
Right.
it ain't
celebrate.
Right. Right.
You
That's the
know.
problem.
and
So
you
Yeah.
and your friends laughing like, oh
yeah.
yeah, I got something mentally wrong with y'all.
Something's wrong with you.
Like
My
Yeah.
something's
question is,
not
who are you,
right.
who are you really mad at? And if we're honest, oftentimes we're mad at ourselves. We
That's
won't
it.
say it,
That's
but
it.
we're mad at ourselves because we've made poor decisions.
Come
We've made
on,
poor
Latoya.
decisions with our careers. We've made poor decisions with our mates or our spouses. We've
Mhm.
made poor decisions with our finances. We make poor decisions with our time. And so we're doing more than what we should be doing. We don't say no when we should say no, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Um, so just because of those poor decisions, now we're spread so thin,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
we, we can't say no to. You think everything that your children ask for, you got to say yes to it. So now you got them in 4 or 5 different sports. You got to take them
Yes.
here and there. You know that
Come
they
on,
got D's.
Latoya.
Why you buying Jordans and they got D's? Okay, why
Yeah.
why
Right.
why does your 10-year-old need a freaking Apple 14?
Okay.
Why?
And can't
So
count.
come on, can't. Hello, still peeing in the bed. And, but who are you mad at, sis? Like
Right. Right.
you have you know you doing all of this, so now it comes time to pay those bills, and you're a little short. And so now you're
Right.
mad, you're angry, you're going to work and you cussing people out. No, baby, you be mad at yourself
Right.
and do
Right.
something with that anger. Don't just be mad, but let that anger let you benefit from it. Okay, I'm gonna let this anger put me in a different position or catapult me into my next season. Okay, I'm upset about my finances. I'm upset about where I am. So how about I look at enrolling for school? Or how
Yeah.
about I look and see what type of gifts have God given me so that I can birth something in this season instead of just being mad. You're mad
Right.
for
Right.
the wrong reasons and you're mad at the wrong people.
Yeah. I mean, it's that trauma that's untreated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're angry, like you said, Dr. Sharmi. What's underneath the anger? Was it molestation? Was it domestic violence? Um, was it you were being prostituted? You know what I'm saying? It's just a list of things that could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, you have to be responsible for you. At some
Correct.
point, you have to say, enough is enough, and I want change, and I'm willing to change, and I need therapy. I need some help. It's okay. You have to say, I
Mm-hmm.
need some help. We all need help. We can't do this by ourselves. And so you have to make a right decision to say, I have to get better. Now my story is I was challenged with PTSD. There was times where that thing would just straight overtake me, and I can crawl up in a ball, and I'm just like, I need help, Lord. Help me,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Help me, Lord. Help me. And I reached out. I'm so transparent. Listen, I called my homegirl, girl, you gotta come. I'm crazy. Today is not a
Mm-hmm.
good day for me, or have people you can share. One of the things I enjoy about my victory is learning that sharing, it is caring. You never know that people do care. People do want your benefit. But I can't stand it sometimes. Everybody's so busy talking about your haters and your haters. What about the ones who love you? What about the
Mm-hmm.
ones who care about you? What, especially ones that's showing you, they're calling you, they're texting you, they're inviting you out, but you're so busy trying to be with this crew, you're neglecting the crew that really cares about your well-being.
Or you running
Eh,
them off because you
Right,
mad.
right. Or you ran them off, and you don't know how to go back and say, girl, I'm sorry, I mishandled that situation.
Yeah.
Can you help me with this? Now, when you want to go to the club, you know how to reach out to try to find you a babysitter.
Mm.
you know I don't have kids. I don't want kids. That's not my story. Okay. My anger comes from the systemic oppression of just, the women having to be the single head of household, and the deadbeat dads, and the children, raising children. I watch from the outside. I'll be like, God bless you. I pray for single parents all the time. And my dad was a single parent. So, I pray for him all the time. And I think he did a heck of a job as a man, because I think I'm just great. But anyway, and then God forbid you have a child that has a disability.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they can be angry sometimes.
Yeah.
Because that's so challenging. You slept with this guy, whether he's your husband or some boyfriend or some dude. Now he gone. Now you stuck, with bills and a child that has a disability. That is beyond you. I'm going to give you an angry Black woman pass.
So you're saying that there's a lot of reasons why we can
Right.
be, right?
Right.
There's a lot of things that happen in our lives that could cause us to have a lot of anger and resentment and bitterness. But at some point, we have to make the decision to not live
To
like
get
that.
well.
At
That's
some
right.
point, we have to make a decision to say, you know what, I'm going to be at peace, and I'm going to enjoy my life no matter what's going on.
That's it. And we reach out for help. Like I said, if you can reach out for a babysitter, reach out for help.
Yeah.
That club is not helping you. That's just going to make you more angry. All you're going to do is get drunk, come home, be more mad.
Right.
Now,
Because
once the high go down, I mean,
And be more mad, and then more mad in the morning because you got a hangover,
yeah.
and more mad because you.
And then the cycle goes on, though.
Right.
It's a continual cycle. Trust me, I can only talk about it because I was in it.
Come
It's
on.
a continual
For real.
cycle. You know what I'm saying? The cycle just goes on and goes on and goes on. And so it's just like we talk about the addictions and different things like that, but that's an addiction, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Addiction to me is anything you can't give up.
Mhm.
You
Come
know what I'm
on.
saying?
Yeah.
I don't care what you think addiction is. If you can talk about all the addictions that seems prevalent, those are
Mhm.
symptoms, honey. But the real addiction is the fact that you're dealing with things on the inside that's really killing you on the outside. And so now what we tend to do is try to grab a hold to those things to really comfort or
Mhm.
even mask our true emotions that's happening because we don't know how to deal with those
Right.
emotions. And
Yeah.
therefore we just stay in a vicious cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle.
Yes.
One of the things that scripture says is Proverbs, and you can literally find this in Proverbs chapter 15, verse 13. And the Bible says, listen, you guys, I love the Lord, so you just got to bear with me. The Bible says that
Go ahead.
a good understanding wins favor, but the way of a transgressor is hard. Now we got to understand what that word heart right there means in the Hebrew. The word heart means to continue in a cycle. It means to continue in. But
That's
what are
good.
you continuing in? The Bible told you in the beginning, it's an understanding. That's
Mhm.
why you're continuing in that cycle of belief. It's a belief system.
It
Your
is.
belief system about the situation has not changed because your mindset is
Come on.
Yeah. That's good.
grafted
That's
in the
good.
fact that what happened to you is the thing that's really making and motivating you right now in life. And
Mhm.
so until we come to a place as individuals that we see the need for healing,
Come on.
many
Yes.
people don't see the need. We can tell people to get healed all day long of their anger, to get
Mhm.
healed of their frustration, to get
Yes.
healed of everything. But honey, until you see the need, It's
Come
not
on.
going to matter how much somebody tells you to go do something. You
Right.
first have to see the
The
need.
need.
You have
That's
to
true.
see. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you can tell somebody to stop doing something all you want to.
Yeah.
We could sit here and tell you, oh, you shouldn't be angry. You should do
Mm-hmm.
this. You shouldn't do that. But until you get to a place where there is a genuine need,
Yeah.
a need. See, I had a need for the Lord because
Come
I knew
on.
I couldn't heal my own mind. So I needed him. I
Right.
Mm-hmm.
needed something greater to come on
Ah,
the inside and heal what could not be
Yes.
healed.
Come on.
Doctors had already given up hope on me. And so the only person that I knew that could heal me was God himself. And so
right.
Yes.
I ran to Jesus. I don't care what
Right.
Mm-hmm.
nobody say. Yes, I did. I ran to him because
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that there was something that I could not do. And so
Yeah.
when we're talking about these dynamics, then we also have to understand that the reason that people continue in the cycles of anger, it, like, again, rest in the fact that it's a secondary emotion. That's not
Mm-hmm.
even the root cause of why you're even angry. Many
Yes.
people don't desire to be angry.
Yeah.
That's
Nobody
right.
wakes up every day and say, I just
I
want to
want
be
to be
mad.
angry.
I just
Angry.
want to hate
Mm-hmm.
the world. Don't nobody wake up like
Mm-mm.
that. But
Right.
No.
it's something that's going on the inside of you that you can't even put your finger on. You
Mm-hmm.
don't even know why you always upset, why you always angry. Nobody, do you understand that an angry person don't have any peace?
Come
Mm.
on.
That's good.
An angry
About
That's
person
anything.
don't
good.
have peace. Who
Yeah.
don't want peace? Who don't
Right.
just want a life that's just calm and easy, and even where their emotions are not always running away with them? Do you know people that live in anger, their emotions are really running away from them? Because
Mm-hmm.
every time you look up, they think somebody's for them, trying to get them,
With them.
out
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get them. This person jealous, that person jealous,
Oh,
that person don't like them, this
Right.
person doing this. That's too much time and energy spent on
Ooh.
nothing when you could be building a legacy
come
for your
Yes.
on.
life and your
Come on.
family. See,
Yes.
Yes.
oh my God, I feel the Holy Ghost, so I'm gonna be
Yeah.
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 quiet.
Yes. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Oh my goodness. I know one of the things that I had an issue with is um is men, you know? Like growing up, I just never had a good representation of what a man was. And so I can remember when my grandfather was killed, how my grandmother didn't know how to do anything, you know. I felt like she just didn't know how to do
Mm.
anything. She knew how to do a lot, but I felt like she couldn't take care of her bills. She couldn't,
Right.
she
Right.
depended on him so much. And he was a womanizer, a serial cheater, had all like 5 kids on her. My dad wasn't involved in my life consistently. And so I didn't realize that I had this like inward hatred or lack of respect for men. And it was something that was really kind of passed down too from
Right.
generation to generation. It wasn't until my marriage with my husband where I realized that I had to be in control, right? Because of a lot of different fears. But I talked to him crazy. I did. Like, you know, we get into an argument. I'm jumping up in his face. And this joke is 6'6". At that
Right.
time,
Right.
like, 265, 70 pounds. And here I am, 5'6". I'm all in. I'm like, what am I going to do with him?
Right.
Nothing,
Right.
absolutely
Right.
nothing. But in my mind, he's the
Right.
size
I'm
of
gonna
an
take
ant.
them
I
down.
didn't care. And we got into a really bad argument. And I realized at that time that I was the problem. You know, yes, he did things to provoke me. Yes, he did things that I felt that were disrespectful, but how I internalized it,
Right.
and how I processed it was wrong. And I realized that, yeah, I have a problem with male dominance. I have a problem with listening to a man because I felt like, I had to protect myself from a man. And these are not things that we think about consciously. Sometimes these are subconscious
Right.
thoughts
Right.
that we have, and we just have to look at that. We've got to be honest with ourselves, and we've got to allow God to heal us from these things, because there was a reason why, you know um being transparent, being molested, as
Right.
a
Right.
kid,
Right.
by a man, you kind of start thinking differently. And so God
Right.
has
Right.
to heal us from these things. And if not, we'll continue those same patterns, and we'll teach our daughters to
The
be
same
disrespectful. We'll
thing.
teach our daughters to not honor men. We'll teach our daughters to be very argumentative and just nasty, and then and that whole victim. I'm a victim.
Right, right, right.
We've got to be able to change that.
Yeah, and not understanding, like you said, your role, and you're a beautiful person. And when people take time to realize they're wrong, that's the best breakthrough. You live a better life, understanding. And without that reflection, then that's where we get the stress
Hmm.
that causes all kinds of other diseases and all kinds of, discomfort. We get that mean woman who don't like nobody. We get the messy one who's trying to sleep with your husband. Meanwhile, she like, "Hey girl, how you
Mm.
doing?" You know, come on, though. We're gonna
Yeah.
be honest. We're gonna be honest. And now her friend is now the angry black woman because she gonna cut you, right?
Hmm.
And throwing shade. And then the whole history of rap music making us embrace the B word, like
Oh,
that was our first name, and being part of being in entertainment, that was so crazy. Like me and my friends, we do not refer to ourselves like that. We're like, "Hey queen, hey beautiful,
hmm.
how you doing?" We're going to give each other the affirmations of positivity. And you look good today, you look nice today. Those are the kind of people you need in your circle. Movies like Woman King, I watched that movie. I was so disturbed because I couldn't watch um, Viola Davis getting punched in the face. It was trying to make me go through the screen, like hit her back. Like is are the movies, and that's why I'm here to talk about that masculine woman. I need you to just pump your brakes. You
Oh,
don't have to be that physical. Against a man. I was taught never to fight a man. Never. Now, in defense, I will cut you down, right? But to approach a man, if he says something to me, I'm gonna let you slide. I'm so the type of person, you call me all kinds of names, it don't bother me. Do not touch me. Do not approach me like you're going to, touch me, and we good. We good. But with the movies, the entertainment, pumping that women rah, you women raw, it's disrupting the household.
it is.
It's complicating so much. I talked last week about the men in the skinny jeans. Everybody's so confused. I was at a light and a person walked by me and I'm staring, and then they got the nerve to look at me like, "What you looking at?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to figure out if you're a male or female." And I'm not. This is not. Listen, letter people. I have I have letter people in my family, so do not get on this and start making crazy comments. This is a conversation, and y'all need to be able to have a conversation without people getting so offended. Come see about me. I can talk, okay? So, we have to be able, I'm going to get back to the women, wear your dress, wear your sandals, be sexy. It's okay, you know.
Yeah. So before we end this, we've got to talk about this like hypersexualized, so it's almost like it's two different like ends of a spectrum. It's
Right.
either, society is really pushing this like hypersexualized type of culture for women,
Yeah.
and or then you do have the masculine,
Right.
ideal, and it's disturbing
It is.
because
It is.
it we've created this culture, and I was doing a little bit of research, and there was a study done at Georgetown, and it talked about the adultification of young black girls. And so, as a
Mm,
society, young black girls are often looked at they don't they're not looked at as young black girls. They're not looked at as teenagers. They're looked at and viewed as women. And so as a result of that, they're treated unfairly. As a
Wow.
result of that, they are hyper sexualized. As a result of that, they experience a lot of bias. And one of the factors, it contributes to racism, sexism, and
Right.
poverty. And then oftentimes young black girls are treated as if they're inferior or undeveloped, mentally,
Mentally.
right, and
Mhm.
academically. And so
Mhm.
there's a lot of social norms or social aspects of the way that we're viewed and the way that we treat one another. And so
Right. Right.
we should not see your behind.
Right.
It's nothing cute about it. You
Right.
don't have to overcompensate by dressing so revealing that you
Right.
gain attention. And then you don't have to overcompensate with being masculine too. Just it's okay to be um chastened. It's okay to be to respond in a certain tone, that's ladylike. It's okay
Right.
to have those roles. So
Yeah, I totally agree. You know.
Yeah, me too. And one of the things as we're wrapping this up, I just want to say, as we have talked about the concepts of the angry Black woman, we know that there are more than just Black people that are angry, okay? We understand that. But we did want to
Right.
just kind of touch on, the dynamics of our culture and how many in the Black community are classified as the angry. Was it like a movie about the angry Black woman or something like that? Something.
the
Was
Diary
it?
of an Angry Black Woman.
Yeah, there we go. And so, sometimes, it can
Right. Right.
portray us as if we are, angry, but there are reasons behind
That's right.
everyone's anger.
In a root.
And that was the point, right, that we wanted to make today, is that there is a reason, right? And so, but until we get to the root cause of those reasons,
Hmm.
then many people will stay in the place of dealing with anger. And I mean, come on, the Bible tells us to be angry,
And
right?
see
It
that.
says,
But
be
sin not.
angry, but do not sin.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What does sin mean? Is that means don't miss the mark,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
That's what
Right.
sin just means, you missing the mark. But who mark? You
Yeah.
see, you missing God's mark. And
Yeah.
Mm.
so you got to think on those things. So when I'm angry, how is this going to make me present me before the world? If I'm
Hmm.
Oh, that's
responding to
good,
anger,
Dr. Sherman.
how is this presenting me before the world? See, we think in our little mentality of our little circles,
Come
but you got to
on.
see yourself outside your circle.
Come
You
on.
got
Yes.
to see yourself an influencer of the world. See, you got to see it before you see it. If
Right.
you
Hmm.
can't see it, then you're not going to actually see it. And so, therefore, we have to get to a place that we deal with the hidden issues.
Hmm.
The scriptures say it's the hidden things of dishonesty on the inside of us.
Come
And
on.
so when
Hmm.
you deal with
That's
those
good.
hidden things of dishonesty, then you're able to say, hey, you know what? I need to become a better person for me. I don't
Yeah.
need, Shormy became a better person for her. Because
Right.
when Shormy got up and looked in the mirror, there was some things about Shormy she didn't like. I
Hmm.
don't care how
Mhm.
she tried to act like it around other
Right.
people. She
Right.
didn't like it when she was by herself. Like, girl, why
Hmm.
you respond like that? It didn't even take all that.
Right.
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 Because script, y'all see, I got
Come
it.
on. Come
Go
on. Bring
ahead.
it.
Come
The Bible
on.
says that a soft answer turns away
Turns
wrath.
away wrath.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the softness in our answers that
Come
turn away wrath.
on. That's what I'm
Hmm.
saying.
It's that thing that you say softly that will change the
Mm.
whole
Yeah.
situation,
That's
Yeah.
even when
right.
somebody is being angry.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
the soft answers. I'm
Come
just
on.
crazy enough to believe what the Bible says. That's
That's
all.
right.
Yeah.
That's
That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
And so, even in those dynamics, in those situations, when we are dealing with individuals, I'm still held accountable for me
That's
Come
right.
on.
and
That's
my
right.
response
Yeah.
and how I am going to respond as a woman.
That's
That's
right.
it.
How
That's
do
it.
I respond to you as an influencer?
Yeah.
See, I may not be you may not look at me as somebody who influences the world, but I got my children and my grandchildren. So
That's
I
come
am
on.
influencing
Come
the
on.
world because
Come
they
on.
got to go out and touch
That's
Come
somebody.
right.
on.
And then
That's
they
right.
go out and touch somebody. See, so you got to look at this thing in a different dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you do really do affect other people. This is
So
not all
true.
about you. This is
That
about
part.
them and them and them
Mm-hmm.
and them and them.
Yes.
You never
Who are you
know.
representing?
Yeah.
You never know that the very person in your household, that God can use that one person and touch the entire world.
Come on. Come
But
on.
see,
Mm-hmm.
if they're responding how you're responding, right?
Ooh.
If they're responding the way that you're teaching them how to respond, that
Mm-hmm.
influence either going to be positive or negative.
That's right.
And
That's right.
sis,
Yes.
that's up to you.
Right. And
Yeah.
during Women's Month, we held some real good topics. Make sure you go to the YouTube page, review, leave a comment. For those who text me and say we love the show, can you just leave a comment down below? Yeah.
Like and share it.
Like and share. Yeah. This was really powerful, really good. We hope that we've allowed you to understand that we understand the root of it, passed down cultural, systemic oppression. We understand. But we hope that you really heard the message that you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
You have to make the choice to want to be a better version of yourself. If you didn't
Come
hear
on.
nothing else, we hope you heard that. So thank you
Yeah.
for joining us one more time and again at Safe Space Talks, Mind Mastery, with myself, Dr. Sharmi, and Latoya. See you next week.